Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're finally going to get to making some ribs here on this channel for our Kitchen Witchery series, and this is a video that has highly come requested, so what say you we get into that? Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a rack of ribs in the oven. The reason I chose the oven and not outside on the smoker is I want this video to be as useful for as many people as humanly possible. And is my hat crooked? Oh my god! Oh well, that's okay. No, I'm just hallucinating due to shadows. And okay, I'm excited about the ribs. That's what it is. Okay. Anyhow, here's what we're going to do. So first off, I want to tell you what I'm going to be putting in the dry rub. Now, in this dry rub, you're going to find a few things that we have done videos on before, and I'll make sure those are linked here. Stuff like paprika, garlic, salt, pepper, stuff like that. But I'm going to give you the base of this dry rub. Now, here's the thing. This is just a base dry rub. I'm still tinkering with it. And I would definitely welcome your all's feedback and input. Maybe we could work on this a little bit together. Be interesting to see what we come up with. And, you know, we could even do a video on the final product if we wanted to. Now, we are going to be doing some St. Louis style ribs. Now, I will mix up the dry rub and place it on the ribs. And then I'll show you that, of course, to give you an idea of the coverage that I'm wanting you to shoot for here. Before we get into that. But real fast, let's go into what we're putting into this dry rub, okay? I want you to put 2 tablespoons of paprika. I preferred smoked paprika. I know some people don't, but I really do. I think it gives better flavor. I want you to put 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Some people have issues with garlic. Anything in here, if you have an allergy or issue, just leave it out. I want 1 tablespoon of salt. I need you to put in a half a tablespoon of pepper. Now, I'll be honest, there's sometimes I actually rank this up to a tablespoon because I like a little bite, so feel free to do that. You'll need a half a tablespoon of ginger, half a tablespoon of onion powder, and half a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Okay? That is really what you're going to need. Now, there's 2 ways you can go about this, and feel free to try them both. But some people like to take a nice layer of Dijon mustard and coat the ribs in that and then put the rub on top of that. I didn't do that last time I tested this rub. I think it personally came out really good, but I am actually wanting to test that this time. So, yeah, we will be doing that. Okay, last time I think we used Worcestershire sauce, which is, you know, I usually do put Worcestershire sauce on my ribs, but that's during the cook, and I'll show you what I mean by that when we get into the cook. Now, when you buy a rack of St. Louis ribs, at least the ones I usually buy, they're not squared off. They got that big long, basically the riblet along the back that usually trims off. Some people will trim that off and square it out, and you can do that. I'll be honest, when we cook ribs around here, more often than not, we just leave it on there because that's a lot of good meat that you're going to be tossing out if you cut it. If you do trim it off, I would highly recommend saving that and use it in soups or stews. It's really great meat. You're really cutting it off for the aesthetic mainly, okay? I may cut that off just to show you what I'm talking about this time. We'll see when I get in there to actually put the rub on the ribs. All right, anyways, I will see you all in the kitchen. Okay, so here we are. We got the ribs ready. They are dusted and rubbed up real good. I did go ahead and use the Dijon mustard. I thought that sounded really good tonight. Now you will notice I split my rack of ribs in half. That's largely due to the size of the tray that I currently have here in the house. Now, if I was going out on the smoker, I would totally leave them intact. It doesn't change the flavor or anything. They're still going to be cooking low and slow. And we actually will be putting these into the oven at 250 or even 200 would work if you've got an oven that can go that low. I find though 250 seems to work. It gives me a roughly 4-hour cook time on them. They do come out delicious, and it allows me to baste them if I want, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put them in there for a whole hour, and then after that hour, I'm going to add a little bit of Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Maybe I should do a video on magical properties of Worcestershire sauce. I don't even know if it has them. And that's going to help give it a lot of color. Now, if it was on a smoker, it would also be absorbing a lot of smoke, which you can also use your smoking wood in order to further add magical properties, which don't worry, we are going to be doing outdoor cooks so you can get to see the smoker, and we can talk about that more and show how you would utilize it. But for now, I want to do something that everyone can do no matter where you are, and that's exactly why we're using an oven here. But we will be putting it in at 250 for 4 hours. Usually, I find most racks of ribs easily are done in 4 hours time. Though, do get you a meat thermometer. We'll talk more of that toward the end and why they can be so handy. Now, another thing some people will do is they'll put the dry rub on the ribs, and they'll put the ribs in the refrigerator for a few hours or even overnight before they cook them. That's perfectly fine, but you can also just put the dry rub on them and get them straight into the heat, no problem. Now, this is going to be a long cook, so I will see you at the end. If I don't know if I'll stop and shoot anything during any of the basting or whatnot. I'm still trying to decide if I want to use a sauce or just go straight with them like this. I'm kind of leaning toward that. I do have a sauce that my wife really likes. I might put some sauce on them for her. So I'm still thinking about that. But I don't know if I'll turn the camera on just to show me basting the ribs, because it's literally you just open the oven and baste them with sauce. But I will let you know exactly what I did when I did it, when I pull them out and show you the finished product. All right, let's get these things in. Okay, so we are back. Here they are. I've just pulled them out of the oven. I'm going to let them rest for about 30 minutes or so to maybe an hour before I serve them. But they are good to go. Now, you want to cook them to roughly 200 to break down the connective tissue. These are still very hot. Now, one thing I will say, a lot of people want the bone to just fall out when I do that. You don't want that. In a true thing of ribs, there should be some resistance to the meat. It shouldn't just fall apart. And if it falls apart, a lot of, I guess you could say, competition rib makers don't like that. But after it's been on 250 this whole time, 4 hours. Halfway through the cook, I basted it with a little bit of sauce. An hour later, I basted it with a little sauce. And after the first hour, that's when I hit it with the Lee & Perrins. I did go ahead and actually put a little sauce on there. It's a very, very low sugar. Actually, it's a no sugar sauce. So, many of you know I am actually trying to get in shape, and my wife is military. These ribs count as keto. There is almost no carbohydrates in here. I think the sauce we used for 2 tablespoons has 2 grams of carbs total. And they're basted with less than that for the whole rack. So if you don't add any extra sauce, you're easy on your macros there if you're worried about keto. So this is a great way to do some good ribs. Very, very simply at home in your oven. And I do promise I will show how to do ribs over on the smoker, and I may even do them on the kettle grill, because more people have a kettle grill than the smoker. But there we go. I'll see you back at my desk so we can discuss some of the magical uses and properties. Alright, welcome back. Now, first off, this house smells wonderful because Rib's been cooking it all day. And I am hungry, but they gotta rest. Now, when I was showing you the ribs, I mentioned that traditionally ribs shouldn't fall off the bone. I would like to clarify real quick that if you happen to be one of these individuals who you want your ribs to just fall apart, hey, you eat your ribs that way. Okay, the best rib is the rib you like. That's what I always say. So I just said that on a critique of barbecue culture in general and why you may see some ribs that are tougher and have that resistance to them. But if you were to enter usually a judging style thing, you'll find that they want that resistance. Just one of those weird little things. Different people cook things in a different style and it will come out different. It will change the textures and flavors. And we all have our own preferred palate and how we'd like things to come out. Now me, I actually like to be able to pick my rib up and eat it, so I've never been a fan of them when they just fall off the bone. And being someone who has been around barbecue culture a lot, I guess that was also drilled into me as well. So, just a product of who I am, I guess. But this is not just a cooking video. This is a magical video. And I can't remember if we talked about this at the beginning, but some of the things that ribs can be used for in magic is good luck, prosperity, abundance, wealth, strength, and honestly, helping to achieve everyday needs. I know that's kind of a general one, but it is something that is very good. Pork has always been about that abundance side. Pork in a lot of religions does get a bad rap. It really does. We know it's not a ruminant animal. It's not necessarily poultry, but it does get a pretty bad rap. Now, here's the thing. I have tried this recipe and this rub on beef ribs, okay? Beef ribs, not pork. And you can use this on beef ribs really, really well. They still taste freaking delicious. And I may do a video on some beef ribs at some point. So if you don't eat pork for any reason, health, allergies, you just don't like the taste of it, consider trying this out on some beef ribs too. You know, hey, no judgments any which way we go here. So, yeah. But as far as pork and the ribs itself, very straightforward, easy to do. And we did list out the spices. We are going to be linking the videos for some of those so that you can watch those as well. And we will be putting out more Kitchen Witchery videos in the near future. So please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video and you like this kind of content, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on notifications so that you're notified anytime we release a new video or anytime we go live. We're usually live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless something happens. Occasionally, my daughter fills in for me, so I can have a day off as well. We do have channel memberships below if you'd like to support the channel. That is a great way to do it. 3 different tiers of support. Each tier has its own perks, as well as a gilded community. You can find the gilded community in the About tab. You'll find a link for it there in the About section. Sorry. And again, turn camera on. Noise. It's been quiet all day. Noise now. It's a curse. It's a curse. I mean, no one's happy without a good curse. Anywho, below here you should see like a little merch shelf now. We've achieved some kind of YouTube okay, you're the real deal status. I don't know. But it should show a few products for like mugs and some of these circles if you would like to purchase any of these to also help support the channel. Speaking of which, when it comes to the merch shop, if you would, comment below the video. Let us know what you would like to see there, whether it be stickers, coffee cups, t-shirts, you know. Give us an idea of what kind of merch you all would like so we can make it available. Alright, until next time, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic, and I'm going to get off here before they make any more noise. Take care. Bye-bye.